Yeah. Welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Hello. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone had a fabulous Tuesday. This week is going by, okay? I have missed you all on this channel. I was live earlier on the She Inspires channel. That is my new channel. And if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Let me drop that link. Also, I forgot to have it on there already. If you would like to subscribe to the She Inspires, I would greatly appreciate it. I thank God for everyone that has already subscribed, because I was able to hit my first goal and I'm able to go live from that channel. And I am 12 away from my next goal, my first 100. Okay. It feels funny, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me put it in the chat. We're going to get into it. Okay. And I will pin it as well. Let me pin that. So some of the mods come up in here. Okay, let's see who we have here so far. And we're going to get into this topic, this conversation, y'all. Hey, Becca, welcome. Thank you for joining, sis. And thank you for being first in the building. I appreciate that. Hey, Terry, thank you so much. So this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Thank you, Terry. Hi, Kathleen. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Hi, I'm Chosen. Welcome. She said, heading to daughters. I hit the like. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, PM. Welcome. PM was in the other live this morning, too. Thank you so much. Hey, my sis, Shelly Shells is in the building. Thank you for joining again, sis. I appreciate it. Hi, the other Shellys here, too. We got two Shellys today, y'all. Hi, Shelly. She said that trial is a mess. Shelly, oh my God. Y'all, it's multiple things I want to talk about with this. Okay, hey, Sugar Pop, thank you for joining. Welcome. Who, y'all, we're going to get into it because I gotta talk to y'all. Y'all know when I talk to y'all, y'all give me an understanding of some things. And so it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. And I was sitting here and I said, I'm trying to think of which way to go because I have a strange feeling, y'all. And I can share this with y'all because y'all my peeps. Y'all understand what I mean by Shelly said my heart was breaking for her. Right. It was very triggering. Right. So today, y'all, in the Diddy trial, it was day number 2. Okay. This morning, they kind of wrapped up the testimony from the guy that testified on yesterday. He was one of the, I guess you could consider him one of the ex-workers. Okay. Hi, Sandra. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And so, y'all, it's just a lot that's coming into my mind about all of this, the things that we're hearing. But before I get into Cassie's testimony, because I was surprised that they brought Cassie up this soon in the trial, but she's like 8 months pregnant. Okay. So they're probably trying to catch her before she has that baby. Okay. She's at the tail end of her pregnancy. But a couple of things, and I want y'all to give me y'all's thoughts on it. Okay. One thing that came to mind, I know I asked this question about his kids, okay, being in there. And we'll get into some of the testimony from Cassie. And I brought up, do you think that his kids should be in that courtroom throughout this trial, especially throughout the times where we're going to hear graphic testimony, graphic details, videos being shown? Because this is a reason, and I got yesterday, my opinion changed from what I felt yesterday. Really, I was torn between the two. Hey, Teron, welcome. Okay, Sugar Pop already saying no. Okay. The reason that I changed my mind and leaning more towards the no today is for a couple of things. For the simple fact that they're going to look at, I don't care how much you love your parent, okay? Hearing this side of their dad, they're going to look at him totally different. Okay, I don't care which way you try to flip it. Yes, their love may still be there, but they're going to try to get through it, of course, to support him, but they are being exposed to a lot. Okay, Shelly said, I think the boys knew what was going on in a way, but as a mom, I would not want my daughters to hear that. Right, right. Because I believe, and I said that too, the sons knew a lot. Okay, one of them looks just like Diddy, and he knows a whole lot too. But the sons were up on game. I think it was alleged too that the sons were bringing some of their friends to Diddy. Okay, now I don't know how true that is. And then to your point, Shelly, somebody I was looking at Law and Crime, and under the comments, they said, well, if the daughters are too young to watch it or listen to this, Cassie was too young to go through it. And she made a very valid point because she was 19, y'all. Why was Diddy 17 years older than Cassie, fooling with her at that time? Okay, in her early 20s, 19, 20, 21. She was early up in her 20s. Well, I still don't think those kids nor his mother should be in that court. Right. And it is very graphic. Okay. But those boys knew a lot. Now, I feel that one, they're going to look at him totally different. Also, to me, and I haven't heard too many people say this, but you are now pretty much secondhand exposing them to porn. Y'all know what I'm saying? Pornography. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay? They may not have experienced that yet. And then to hear such details, you're now exposing them on another level. Like the stuff that we're hearing, this is stuff that you see in the pornography videos. Okay, I'm trying to say it without saying the whole thing. I don't want to get flat. This is the type of stuff. So you're pretty much putting them, because people are very visual. You have to be visual when you're reading this because we don't have any like videos or cameras or pictures to see anything. So they have to pretty much use their imagination based off of testimony that is being given. You're now opening up their spirits to hear certain things, because who's to say? Some people are like, they probably heard it online. Well, they may not have heard it online. And now look at the degree that they're hearing something like this. Shelly said about her dad, that's hard for a child to love someone that is so vile. Right. Okay. They will disassociate themselves from him eventually. Yes, y'all, if you would like to show support, my Cash App is in the chat. Also, I have a goal of any amount of super chat will help me to reach my goal. Thank y'all so much. Sugar Pop said the graphic details about his sexual assault. Yes. Hi, Miss Josephine. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So you're secondhand exposing them to such graphic details. Okay. The mother. Hi, Christina. Welcome. Now, y'all, I'm trying to shake this feeling, but it's hard for me to shake it. Hi, Life. Welcome. Life with Murray and it's Merlin. Life with Merlin. Hi there. Yes, I don't think the younger children should be there. Right, exactly. But y'all know, he's trying to probably have his kids there to show this united front to the jury, to show, oh, my family is here supporting me, and my kids are here and things like that. But no, I don't think, and the girls are 18. Okay, so they are technically grown. However, there are some things that I just feel is sensitive subject matter, and you don't want to expose them if they're not already even doing that. I don't know if they are or not, but it's so graphic. And I just was like, I don't think I would want my children in there for these parts. Now, if they want to be in there to support me and the family wants to support, then yeah. Okay, come on in at opening statements. When we're not talking about stuff like this, bring them in here. Okay. PM said I was watching now, and she said that's what they do to play on the jurors. Yes, exactly. Sugar Pop, I missed your comment, but I saw it. She said Wendy Williams told us about Diddy. Right, exactly. The things he groomed her to do is not normal, actual. He preyed on Cassie and her being naive. Thank you. Okay, now Shelly, thank you for bringing up. Michael, get back in here. Close the door. Oh, okay. It's okay. Close the door. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. Y'all, I cannot shake this feeling. Now, this is alleged, and this is my opinion. Based off of the details that we are going to hear, or we've heard today, some of you have already heard, the way Cassie described how detailed and how many instructions Diddy allegedly gave, and how he groomed her, how it went from just a kiss, and then it moved into touching, and then having sex, and then recording, and then came the baby oil. And it was certain things that they had to do. It was almost like he was directing an pornographic video. However, something keeps bothering me. I wonder what has happened in his childhood. And I keep going back to the mother. For some reason, I keep going back to the mother. That mom knows what has happened in his life to create the monster that he is right now, in my opinion. I feel that she knows a lot about what has happened, because it was so strategic. Like, it's not just, to me, the way it was being described, it's not just we about to have X, and hey, let's just, let's do some threesomes. Go ahead and put the camera up, No. This is well planned out, strategic, directed. Certain things, ways he wanted her to look, to wear certain nail polish. What was going on in his mind that he wanted it? And then they said that every woman has to have her nails a certain color, like his mom. His mom wears this certain nail color. I just really feel like, what did Shirley say? The mom said she had an orgy party. Yes. Okay. And another reason, it makes me think back to when they were on this boat. And there was another case. I don't know if y'all know about the other case with his son that looks like him. King Combs and him are in another lawsuit about some things that transpired on a party boat. There was some celebrities there, and they said that they were playing a game out on the whatever, out there around the pool on the boat, and said Diddy was there and his mom was sitting next to him. I guess they had been having too much either to drink or rugs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And all of a sudden, he pulls out his and was dancing around in front of his mom and other people there, allegedly. Now, I don't know too many men. I don't care how drunk you are or what you want, but you would feel some type of, oh, my mama's sitting right here. Let me cover up something is off in their relationship, and something is very telling with the details that Cassie put out today about how he is. It's something that I cannot put my finger on, but that lady knows what's going on. She knows why he's doing certain things. Okay? She knows why he's doing certain things. And I just have a strange feeling that the things that were done to him, now I'm not excusing any of his behavior or anything that he has done. However, I do feel that it's some things that he went through that were traumatic when he was younger, that he learned, that he watched. And then he is recreating these scenes with these people. Okay, I just really feel that something is off with that. Shelly said, and that's whatever floats your boat, fine, but you don't have to have your kids around. Exactly. Life said nothing happened. He has money and thinks he's untouchable, therefore did whatever, or maybe an orange addict, a corn addict, or too much drugs. Right. I agree with that, Life, but I still cannot shake something went on in his life. I do believe all of that. I agree with all that. He thought he was untouchable. Yeah, money, power, all of that. And I think it added to who he was. You know, like money magnifies who you are. Okay. So if you are a bad spender, well, if you get millions of dollars, guess what? You're going to be a bad spender. It magnifies who you are. So all it did was, if he was doing this at a low level with various women, guess what? When he became a millionaire and all this money and women around, it got worse. Okay. It got worse. It was 10 times worse than when he was younger without a lot of money. Kathleen, hey Kathleen, she said, I agree. The mother, they have a creepy relationship. Have you seen him kiss his mother? Yes. Yes, I did. He really thought he was king. He did. He really did. They said that they spoiled him. Whatever he wanted, they got him. And my thing is, he can't get that now. So what? Okay. So you were out here thinking you were king, and now you're in jail and you can't get the same thing. Sandra said, what happened to where he doesn't respect women and wants to degrade them and control them extra? Exactly, Sandra. Thank you. Yes. Something. Yeah. Right. Sugar Pop said, do y'all remember his mother be at all his parties? And who's to say she not the one, the puppet behind him, puppet master? We don't know that. Okay. PM said, well, I think when he was young going into the industry, people probably did that to him. Possibly, PM. It's coming from somewhere. Yeah, Life. Yes, Shelly. I remember. Yes, Sandra was her mom's name. Shelly said it was reported that when he got mad at his mom, one time he smacked her in the face. The bodyguard said that. Yes, I did hear that, allegedly. Right. So yeah, the kids, that's one thing. I don't think they need to be in there for certain parts of testimonies. I just really feel like you're exposing them to some stuff that they shouldn't have been, that they shouldn't be exposed to. It's just too gruesome and just gross. Okay. Also, I think the mom knows what's going on behind this. I think she has an idea. Life with Merlin said, but the prosecutor needs more than that. I mean, the man lives to dominate. So what? We need to know what he did illegally so he can rot. Thank you, Life. Okay, because that's where I'm going next. Okay, that's where I'm going next, y'all. I have a strange feeling that Diddy is going to get off either completely, or he is only going to probably serve some time for some prostitution. Okay, because we all know, now don't get me wrong, we all know the domestic violence plays a huge part. And yes, he needs to pay the price for that. However, I was in the mindset of like if I was a potential juror, okay? When you go back behind in that little conference room, okay, the only thing that you can go by, you can't go by your emotions, but you can only go by the law that they give you. And it explains what each thing means, what sex trafficking means, what does RICO mean, What does this mean? Okay, so you have to read that law, and then you have to go with evidence that's been presented so far. And you have to make a decision. Was the evidence presented so well until you can definitely say, oh, yeah, that was that, or that was that. Or if there's some doubt, you really can't go with that. Now, I'm going to be honest. The prosecution, they pumped this prosecution team up. Okay. However, I think the defense lawyers, Diddy's lawyers, are doing a better job. I'm just being honest. Okay. So far, because they are catching contradictory statements from the witnesses. Because, for example, that security guard at the hotel. Now, while he was on the stand, he was saying that he saw a man. Oh, and come to find out, when Cassie testified, they were having a freak off. Y'all know the viral tape, the recording that went around when Diddy was pulling her by the elevator. Well, allegedly they were doing a freak off that day. Okay. Now, when the security guard testified, he was talking about another man in the room, and they were asking him, well, why wasn't that man on the report? And we were all wondering, well, who was the man? Then he testified that her eye was purple. He did not put that into the report, and they brought that out. Now, the reason that they're bringing that out is for the simple fact they want to cause doubt with the jurors. Okay. Now, Cassie did come behind him and kind of say some things to corroborate his story. She did say that her eye was purple, and she did say that there was another guy in the room because they were doing one of the freak off situations. Okay. So the defense, they're doing a great job, like really kind of pulling out the stuff that's contradictory. Now, where the prosecution, I think, has their job cut out for them is proving these situations, RICO, ex-trafficking, and all of that, because right now it just makes it look like these people were doing stuff, and really they are incriminating themselves more so than incriminating Diddy. It looks like he put them specifically. He's not dumb. When Cassie was telling the stuff that she did, it's pretty much on you, boo. Okay, because yeah, you can say he was doing all this stuff. He told you to do this and all that. You can say, oh, I did it because I was scared or I loved him. But they still need to see that he was forcing her to do that, and so much more. They're going to have to prove that through all of this stuff. Like even with the ex-workers, how did he force y'all? Okay, offering payment is not forcing y'all if you come. If you willingly come, that's not forcing somebody. Okay, so I'm not understanding that part. Now, yes, you probably can get some, like I said, the prostitution charge, but some of this other stuff is the long shot. They better have some better witnesses to come on and prove that part. Now Cassie is showing us some other stuff about the control factor, the domestic violence situations. She said he had allegedly pow-pows and phones and videos and things in different safes, if they want to get on the rugs, things like that. But what they're trying to prove in this case, they better have some better witnesses and come on with it. Because maybe they pulling out a card later on. Because right now, I feel like the defense is winning, in my opinion. Okay, let's see what y'all got to say. Shelly said there is a rumor that of his boys held Justin Bieber down in our work. Hey, I wouldn't put it past them. That man messed up that boy. He messed up Justin Bieber, y'all. I feel bad. If anything, let me say this. Yes, Shelly, I believe it's a cycle too. I do believe that. PM said, oh my God, open book. Really? I don't think he will get off. Now it's only day 2, so other stuff has to come out. Yes, this is my preliminary opinion. But baby, they better come with it. They better have some hardcore proof that this man was engaging in those activities and have people that can come be witnesses, because it looked like everybody else around him was doing it. Well, the security guards, the inner circle, Cassie, she incriminating herself too. Okay. I'm like, right now, that's where I'm at. Now, my mind may change, but I'm trying to shake this feeling. I just feel like right now they have not proven that. So we'll see. Hi, Mrs. X. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, Dreamy Girl. Thank y'all so much for joining. I was talking, I wasn't looking at the chat. Shelly said this is not Rico, but we're just starting, so they are going to prove he made others help him do dirty work, which the things that is a Rico. Yes. Okay, they have to prove it. But baby, the witnesses are dropping like flies. Okay. Did y'all hear that witness number 3 has disappeared? Okay, and they concerned about witness number 5. Okay, so the people are dropping like flies, y'all. It's intentional. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. Thank you for joining, sis. And thank you for my Mother's Day blessing. I appreciate that. Shelly said they may be able to prove trafficking. Yes. Okay. Like paying people to come and things like that. But they're going to have to also prove the forcing part. Because it looks like you're complicit in that if you're taking money and doing it. Okay, now if he had a pow to your head and saying, do this, do that, that's a different thing. But if you willingly engaged in that, in my opinion, that is not coercion. Now with Cassie, some of her situation may be, but the way she was telling it in the beginning, it looked like she was complicit in that. Okay, it looked like she was trying to please him. She was young, impressionable. And she even said herself that she was excited to be in his presence. He was this, he was Diddy. And so a 19-year-old, they gonna try to, do whatever they can to make sure you don't say, you too young. I ain't fooling with you. You don't want to do nothing. Okay, so that part didn't look like forced. But as it got more deeper into the abusive side, then I believe it was time she didn't want to do it. And he made her, and then it became abusive. Thank you, Cindy, for the super sticker and for being a sponsor for today's show. Thank you so much. And also, Mrs. X, thank you so much for the blessing today. I really, really appreciate it. It made my whole day. Thank you so much. Sugar Pop said, but she stayed with him. She did. Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm. Hi, Glenn. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Let me catch up. Y'all probably out of the chat now. Sandra said, Sugar Pop, she was probably threatened with her life. She was scared. Most people in a DM situation are like that. Yes, I've been hearing that too. And he had things on her that she didn't want to get out. She didn't want people to know that she was doing those things or to see those videos. So he would record it and then keep it in case, to hold her there. Shelly said, I think they can maybe prove ex-trafficking, but open book, I agree. Not but Rico, I don't know. Exactly. Right. Hi, Dr. J. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Life of Merlin said, people saying she stayed, but I guess the emotional, physical, psychological, and financial abuse aren't registered. Right. His mother got the book of celebrities. Hello. Okay. Hi, Jay. Welcome. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Hey, Tony in the building. Thank you so much for joining today. Yeah. Okay. I just really feel like it's just showing some stuff we already knew. Okay. About him, that he was controlling. We kind of knew about that part with Cassie. Now they're getting into the X details, and also, this is something else that I wanted to highlight. By Cassie testifying about how he is, his kids will probably, if they have not already wondered, did he do some of this with their mom? Okay, because Gene, what's his name? Oh my gosh, the former security guard, he did talk about an incident where Diddy and Kim Porter allegedly, he said they got into a heated argument and it turned physical. And I I guess Diddy thought he was about to do her like that. And I think he had hurt her wrist or something. Wait, was it her wrist? I think it was her eye. But she took a bottle and went upside or hit him with the bottle. Oh, I'm trying to, I don't want to get it wrong. But some way she fought back. Okay. He ended up having to go to the hospital. Now, I think it was for a wrist or something. They had to put something there, but she wasn't playing that. Now, I don't know had it happened prior to that or anything like that, but hey, I'm pretty sure it was some other things taking place in that relationship. And also, I believe with J-Lo, I believe he exposed J-Lo to some things, the actual things. However, I don't think it was to the degree that he did with Cassie. I don't think he beat her and things like that. I think he really loved J-Lo. He even talked about that in that song with Usher. I think he really cared about her and didn't want to do that with her. But she was able to get out. She did see probably the other stuff behind the scenes, like the with the whole team working and doing this, doing that. Then you had the pow situation, and she took the fall for it, all of that, and sis got out of there. Okay, so she probably seen the inner workings of what they do, but I don't think that he was dragging her, doing all this different stuff. No, I don't think he did her like that. Cassie, yes, she was young and he felt like he groomed her, controlled her, and then it turned into something totally different. Jay said, if a score was given based on all what I saw and heard today, seems like the defense team is on top. Jay, I said the same thing. I think right now it could change. Okay, this is my preliminary opinion. I feel that his defense team is on it. And Diddy, they said, is in there taking notes. He's writing things down and he's helping his lawyers. See, he knows what he's told these people. He knows what he's whispered and said. And if you ever tell, he knows what they've said, what they've done. He can give them little inside information. So his team is really working. Okay. The prosecution, they better come on with it. Okay. Or he gonna be free. Now, what another thing, let me see. Shelly said she stayed with him because she was young. She wanted to be a star, and he used that many people he used that. Many people stay with abusers. It does not mean they want to. Right, exactly, Shelly. Because she said she had a lot of albums that she recorded, but he never put out. So he probably kept promising her, oh, yeah, let's do this work. Let's do that. And, you're going to be rich. You're going to be famous. Huh? Okay, no. And many people do stay. It's hard to say, how come you didn't leave? People have different reasons for why they don't leave. Look at who you're dealing with, okay? I'm glad she was eventually able to get out of that. She could have lost her life. With the way they said he was kicking her in the head, doing this, doing that, she could have lost her life, okay? The different drugs and all of that stuff, having sex, y'all know, with different people, unprotected. Okay, it's good that she got out. It's good, and I commend her. She's now married with children and pregnant, okay? And a whole husband sitting in there supporting her brother, I think one of her cousins. I commend her for going on that stand in a high-profile case like this, and she's having to relive this in front of the world. Okay, that takes a lot of courage to do that. Sugar Pop said they think Diddy killed her. Yes, and I think so too. Based off of some things that were said, all of y'all. I don't know if y'all know the Kardashian, the mom, her boyfriend that she has was one of Diddy's former people. Okay. Now, why was this guy, the day that they found Kim Porter unalived, they have photos of this man just hanging out over at that house. They caught pictures of him out by the garage. Why that man over there? Why were you there, sir? Okay, that looks suspect. That looked very suspect. And he's now with their mom. What is the mom name? I forget the Kardashians' mom name. So I believe he knows some stuff too. Okay. Now, speaking of that, let's see. Sugar Pop said after the nightclub shooting, hello, baby. J-Lo was out of there. J-Lo knows some stuff. J-Lo, come to the front, girl. You need to be on that stand. Okay, telling us what you know. Hey, Victoria, welcome, sis. Thank you for joining. Hey, Key1, welcome, sis. We've missed you. Hey, Kay. She said, hey, Obi and Chad, late to the party, but it's not a Diddy party, so I mean, it's not a Diddy party, so I'm here. Okay. Now, while we up here, because this kind of almost made me go off. I was really going off in the car to myself out loud. Okay, don't tell nobody. I said, because I was just listening to some of the videos from different places and reading up on some stuff. I say, now wait a second. We up here talking about his different ex encounters and all the actual workers and recordings and things like that. Child, while we're focusing on this, what they need to do is go and look into these cases. We need to see what was happening with Biggie's death. We need to see what happened with Tupac's death. We need to see what really happened with Kim Porter. That's what they really need to be investigating. Okay, because this little stuff here, baby, we know you're freaky, you're nasty, you took it to another level. Okay, but if they really want to get, baby, go and talk to some of them people. These ex-security guards that's been talking, people that were around, and that's what they need to get justice for these people. Craig Mack, the other one of his sons, I just brought him up the other day. Shelly, what was the one I just brought up to y'all the other day where I said Justin looks like him? He was a part of a group, Meech or something. Big Meech. Okay, all of this stuff, they've been saying Diddy was in the shadows and behind some of this stuff, allegedly. That's what they need to be focusing on. We know he'll free, okay? And I think he's going to get off on this. Y'all need to pull him in there for some stuff that really matters. Get these people some justice, their family some justice. Because why we know about him with the check, giving a check to the people that were responsible for taking Tupac out. Like, come on, what happened with that? We heard about that. Oh, but it went away. Okay, so we just going to let that be. And then Cassie even brought up that one time they were out at a hotel in LA and somebody called him and said that Suge Knight was at a diner not too far away. She said him and one of his bodyguards got their pals and they left. And she said, no, what are you going to do? What, don't do something. She said, I'm going to look and see what it said. But what were y'all doing? Okay, so my thing is this. That's the stuff y'all need to look into as well. Because y'all already know this stuff here, unless the prosecution brings it more with some really key witnesses that really has some proof, they haven't proven anything. It's really going by, oh, I saw this, or this one video was at the hotel where he was, kicking her and stuff like that. Oh, he was having me have sex with these people while he was pleasing himself. Oh, come on. That's not what y'all supposed to be trying to prove. So I don't know where it's going. But I know it's more things out there if they really wanted to get him that they probably could get him on. If people will really talk. Because I almost got mad. I said justice for these people. That's what we've been waiting on. We've been waiting on justice for Biggie's death. Okay? I mean, the former bodyguard explained everything. He was there that night. Why aren't people talking to him? If people are saying the guy was going to trial, I don't even know if he went to trial behind Tupac's murder. Okay, he said that a check was from Diddy. What happened with all of that? Those are the things we need to look into. Kim Porter mysteriously passed away of pneumonia, had the same coroner as Whitney Houston. What in the world? And then when people were saying, oh no, they had one coroner, he said that's not how she passed away. Oh, they put somebody else on the case. Like, come on now. We really need to look into those things. If they really want to get him on some stuff. But hey, we're here. We're talking about X and people taking this. And okay, we're going to see. Kay said, I really believe dots will be connected eventually. Diddy is so rancid. They'll be pulling 18-hour shifts to connect the dots. Coffee pot. The coffee pot in use. A shout out. Yes. Okay. They gonna have to connect some dots. Because right now the defense is winning. Life said that bodyguard said so much. I'm surprised he's still alive. Hello? I'm surprised too. Okay. So going back to some of the highlights, let me bring it on back because that made me mad. I was like, we up here talking about this stuff, and these people that lost their lives, he walking around and see, he thought that goes back to the being untouchable. Okay, he been getting away with it. Each time he got away with something, he did it again. And my thing is this: someone also brought this up under a video I was watching. They said if he gets off with this, if he does not have to do any jail time with this, imagine the monster that will grow. He gonna feel like he can do more. I'm telling you. He's going to try to do more because it has not been a consequence to his actions for nothing. If he was behind some of this stuff, think about it. He's been getting away with stuff. It's very intriguing. Me too. Okay, I'm vested. He has something to do with those artists. I believe it, Sugar Pop. In my being, I believe that. Life said the medical examiner stays the same with all of his murder victims. Hello? Clock that, Life with Merlin. And why is that? You know, like somebody needs to call that stuff out. Thank you, Dreamy Girl. If y'all want to support tonight, you can send a super chat for any amount. It will go towards my goal or Cash App. My Cash App is scrolling on the screen. Okay, so just to kind of highlight some of the things that Cassie stated, she kind of talked about their relationship started back in 2006, and she had signed to Bad Boys Records. She was 19 at that time. She said that she was kind of confused when Diddy kissed her while she was celebrating her 21st birthday in Las Vegas. She stated that he was a fun guy who also happened to have her career in his hands, saying that he called all of the shots when she was younger. Okay, so that's a red flag. Now, that's a red flag to any young girls out there. If you have, and I know some girls, now I don't know what the relationship is with her parents, but some girls are looking for a father figure. Maybe that father was not in their lives the way that they preferred him to be. They start seeking this in a man. Or, you know, she really wanted this career. So she put up with some things so that he could further her career, you know. Jay said, I think a lot of his friends were so quiet because they feared what would come out. But they said today they are not looking for co-conspirators. I wonder why. Okay, Sugar Pop, clock that, because money talks. Okay, come on now. And a lot of people have paid attention to that. If y'all gonna say he ran an entire enterprise, okay, who else? One sole person cannot run an enterprise. Where are the other people that should be on trial with him? Why are we not naming, oh, these were the employees that were helping him run the enterprise? That's why I said Cassie is incriminating herself more so than anything. If she admitted to the things that she did for him. Okay, he let other people do it. So why is he the only one on trial? It should be an enterprise of people on trial with him, because he kept his hands and looked like clean, and he put everyone else up to deliver this, do this, go pay for this, do all of that. He had his people out front doing the dirty work for him. Jay said, I don't think so, open book. I think he's going to go sit down somewhere. You think he's going to go sit down somewhere and you won't hear a peep out of him if he get out? I don't think his pride would let him go sit down somewhere. Hey, Nisha, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Kay says, speaking OB, the consequences. I see Diddy 20 years from now recalling all the secrets in interview behind the bars. That's if he doesn't off himself or get exiled by others. Right. Exactly. He would probably sing like a bird. Okay. So she probably looked up to him. Oh, he's gonna be the one to get my career further. She said that some of their arguments will be violent and result in some sort of physical abuse. And let me just say, trigger warning for the sensitive subject matter. He would smash me in my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stump me in the head if I was down. Those are some of the things he did to her. Then he experienced mood swings. Red flag. Okay. Well, this is like the third red flag. Okay. He already putting his hands on you. Now he got those mood swings. You don't know when he gonna go off and when he not. Okay. And if she didn't answer her phone, he would either keep calling her or send staff to find her. Now, in the first years of their relationship, she stated that he proposed this sexual encounter that he called voyeurism, where he would watch her have intercourse with another man. She said that that also shocked her. She said she didn't feel like she could refuse him because he controlled a lot of her life. Red flag. Okay, he wants to see you having sex with other people. That's a red flag. I know we think some of that stuff is kinky, okay, but that can turn into something else. Hey, Jasmine, welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, chirp, chirp, Diddy. Yeah, he gonna sing like a bird. Hey, V, welcome. V said, good evening, open book and chat. He didn't take the plea deal when they offered it to him. The others took the deal. It's common they give plea deals to criminals that cooperate all the time. Yeah, I know that, but we don't know any of those people. Who did they give? I never heard of any plea deals. Like that part, they need to make it known because see, people are saying that this doesn't look like an enterprise because it's only one person. So if people took plea deals, they need to say, well, at least if you're not going to say, the details of it, it needs to, just like the cops that unalive the one we just did recently. Oh my gosh, y'all. But we just did that recently with the 5 cops. Yeah, 3 of them took plea deals, or 2 of them took plea deals. We still knew about it. So I haven't heard of them saying, oh, these other people were charged, but they took plea deals. Like they need to let people know because this looks suspect. Okay. Yeah, Jasmine, I'm not even questioning that. Right. Okay. Let's hear the jokes. Oh yeah, V comes in with the jokes. V for sure, not my mouth. That was gross. Yes, okay. Hi, corporate thug, and Mika is in the building. Thank you so much for joining. She said, "Open book the truth." Okay, I appreciate it, sis. Thank you so much, and you are too. I said, "Baby, Mika be up. I'll go take my restroom break, y'all, in the middle of the night." And every time I do that, I check my phone. She got a new video. I was like, well, when do you sleep? Okay. Shelly said, be right, but he was in her head. Yes. Hey, Denise, welcome. She said the fact that there is even a strong defense proves he was a proactive devil. He played spades all while never touching the car. Ooh, girl, you better say that. Oh, I love how you put that too. Yes, I'm gonna have to use. Wait a minute. Now that's good. Playing spades all while never touching the cards. Ooh, I love that. That's true. He had other people doing his dirty work. Let's see. What did V say? V said anyone who participated and engaged in criminal activity with or at his behest, the ones that testify knowledge to all of this freaky ish took a deal. But how do we know that? Did they say that? Because I missed that. I'm not saying that they didn't, but I haven't heard that they took a deal. I meant to say mouth, not house. Okay, gotcha. Jasmine said I would have told him, F the career, I'm out of the industry. Okay. I hope Cassie told her husband these vile things years prior to this mess. If so, their relationship is strong and wish nothing but blessings to them. I said the same thing. Like I said, I hope, and I think she would have by now, because she probably knew a lot of this stuff will come out. So that is a strong relationship, knowing the things that she has done and had to go through and all of that. He has to really love her. Shelly said, and what Diddy had her do when she finished was beyond anything I've ever heard. Oh, I know, Shelly, that was disgusting. Hi, Veronica, welcome. She said, I don't sleep. I can see. I was like, girl, when do you go to bed? B said, girl, that is how the feds do. When they raided his house, they seen all the videos. So they contacted the people like, look, we have this on you. We're either going to charge you or you're going to flip. Oh, okay, you mean, okay, before they charge them, they give them the option. Okay. Well, I don't know. That's messed up if they do it that way. Hi, Blessed Beyond Measures. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And testify to what you know. Wow. Hey, Mr. CKB is in the building. He said, crazy day for Diddy. You know what? CKB, I wish you would come up. I don't know if you're available to come up, but I hope that you're also covering this Saturday. Okay, because I was thinking about you all day when it came to where it's at. I said, I hope he in that courtroom. And I was like, I need him to make sense of this because I have questions. Okay. I have questions, but if you are available, you're welcome to come up and give us a little, tidbit of your thoughts. He is a lawyer, y'all. So I'm like, hey, we're open. Okay. Jasmine said her husband leaving the court looked really mad. I'm sure she told him everything because her husband called Diddy, how you doing online? Oh, and yeah. In the beginning, Diddy's team did not want her husband to be able to be in there while she testified. It's a no. Baby, my husband gonna be here. But one reason that they didn't want him in there is just in case they needed to call him to testify about some things she stated. But I thought that a husband and wife didn't have to testify against each other. I don't know. But they allowed him in there. But they said that he was staring Diddy down, allegedly. Kay said, Obi, I wanted to say again, if I didn't say it sooner, listen to the replay on live and been praying for you and hubby to restore health in your family, your generous spirit. Thank you so much. God bless you, Kay. All these people are not just voluntarily testifying because they feel bad. Their hands are tied. Okay. Yay. Let me drop the link. Mr. CKB is in the building. Y'all know him. He only come to the bushes. He'll come in here every once in a while, talk about how many women we got in here. I'm like, we done had some men, more men. Plus, that man had the nerve to tag her on his IG post after she done moved on. Exactly. She said, what got me was Jaguar. Right. Where's Jaguar? Okay. Jaguar scared Ryan McKnight then sued Jaguar. Jaguar said she not coming out. Jay said Young Miami did an interview with him and told the audience she liked to get peed on, and that's what he likes to own. And after receiving so much flack, turned around and said she was kidding. Now I know it's the truth. It was the truth. Okay. Oh, and it's supposed to be a technique to that, but I don't need to go into that. That's what they said. Oh my goodness, her husband ain't do when he had the chance to. Oh, he was a trainer that was paid by Diddy and knew it was good. Spouse, yes, but girlfriend, boyfriend, no. Oh, okay. There's the link, Mr. CKB. There's a channel called Ticket TV that's been on it. Okay. She was front and center outside with bodyguards. Who? She was at the trial. Okay, got you. All right. Mr. CKB, you ready? Hey there. Welcome to the open book. Thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, kid?
Now, wait. Were you at the trial? Were you one?
Hell no.
Man, wow.
Do you know how packed it was down there? Like, I can't. So where my building is at, you can't see like that like the courthouse strip or what have you. But I had to so we have a trial. My firm has a trial in Manhattan Supreme, which is like literally across the street
Okay.
from the courthouse. Listen, it's people up there. They have to probably be sleeping out there. They probably still in right now, waiting to get inside. Like it's a mad house. Lawyers can't get it. So listen, with this particular case, because it's first of all, it's a high profile case, and then an information in it is extremely sensitive. Like the judge, the prosecutors, the bailiffs are really in tune with who's in there and that. Now, listen, we all have a First Amendment right to a public trial, but they're really, really being cautious and sensitive about who goes in there and what information is going out. Like a lot of people don't know, in the feds, particularly federal courts, you can't bring like a phone, any of that stuff in there. Like I can because I'm a lawyer, but like regular people can't do that. And then even lawyers, for the most part, like you actually have to have a court order to have certain electronics in it, like a laptop and things of that nature.
Wow.
But it's really, really sensitive. And then it's like, man, I got shit to do, man. I'm not even sit around all fucking day. Like, come on, I got stuff to do. Listen, I had the, I at least wanted to watch the Cassie testimony because I figured that would be like the make or break of the case. And from what I heard from the people that were down there, and then watching, little other YouTubers that covered this, it was really, 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 really serious and sick in terms of what she went through. And then it's no longer allegedly because he swore under penalty of perjury that this stuff is true. So you can say alleged, but it's no alleged. This is what she said happened. Okay. And it was accepted as evidence as it did happen. But to answer your question, I didn't get in. I wanted to get in, but it's just too much people. I don't have the time. I'm in New York. I don't have the time.
Yeah, y'all don't have time, man. Y'all walking fast, don't talk to nobody.
Oh my God, man. I think I could have sworn I saw a few YouTubers. I'm not gonna put their names out because they didn't what's the name, but I think I did see a few YouTubers that was trying to slither their way in, but they didn't get in. Oh, so they may be online lying about getting inside the courtroom.
Oh, okay. See, okay. So let me ask your opinion about this. Do you think that out of the two, prosecutors and the defense team, who do you think is doing a better job right now proving the case?
I want to give my applause to the SDNY. Now, listen, I'm a defense guy. Like, if you guys don't know me in personal injury and criminal defense, I'm a defense guy.
Okay.
But as it pertains to the skill set, strategy, and everything like that, the SDNY is really doing a good job. Because first off, you're talking about a case that's about sex trafficking, right? And then you're talking about a case where even though there's no like grape allegation, I don't know if you use the word, I don't care, my channel, but there's no grape allegation. She's permeating the idea that she didn't consent in a lot of the stuff. Now, that's cool. And hearing that from a woman is bad, but then hearing it from a pregnant woman that's about to pop, the imagery of seeing, like nobody wants to hear about a woman being battered. But to hear a pregnant woman, it's like, how vulnerable could you be? So I think that was such a good job and good idea for the prosecutor to make sure that they don't postpone this, because they could have very well said, listen, she's pregnant. This could be a lot of stress. Let's postpone it until after the fact. She's a star witness. She's a victim. Right? They could have very well did that, but that was such a good fucking job on their hand. I apologize, Chris. No,
you're okay. No.
So and I don't know those particular prosecutors because like when I have criminal cases, it's like I go on a different floor. I never really have like sex crime kind of cases. For the most part, when we doing like fed cases, it's like major crime like murders and robberies and terrorism and stuff like that. I don't really have like sex trafficking. I've never done that, so I don't know those particular prosecutors. And it's like division based. So like for the most part, for those particular crimes, you're going to have that group of prosecutors or whomever is transferring that particular department for that particular crime. But if I did know them, I'm gonna look them up later on. But if I did know them, I do want to send them if you do anything, because the vision of seeing a pregnant woman talk about how she was being peed on
Right.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of ladies, right? And that's why
He always saying we have a lot of it has more men over here, okay?
it's too much. You gotta tell these guys to relax, man. It's too many dudes in here. Like you need to have, one dude minimum for like 1,000 women. But seriously, it was. She said a lot of things that he did to her, like urination, different. It was times where she said that. Again, I think you covered this. I don't know because I kind of just jumped in, but if you haven't covered it, one of the things she testified to was it was on occasion she had to like put down cloths. She had to take the bedding off the sheets from the hotels because oftentimes it would be blood, feces, and urination, either coming out her, coming on her, or going in her to some degree, right? So that in itself is like
that's
like,
disgusting.
So. And then one thing I would say about this though, one thing I did like about it, so it's a kind of way when it comes to like trial attorneys, and one of the things that they always say, so if you have a bad fact, meaning if you have a fact that's not in favor of your party, put that in front stream, like be like front load with it, start off with it, because you don't want the opposing party to use that and permeate into the jury that, see, look at this bad fact. So the bad fact here was the idea that she consented to a lot of this stuff. Like this was mutual. The violence was mutual combat. But she admitted that, yes, sometimes I wanted it. In fact, sometimes I would call them because I wanted it. But then it was times I didn't want it. Perfect.
Right.
Right. So, because, a lot of guys, even myself, I'm of the position that when I was reading the summons and complaint, the lawsuit, the summons and complaint, while it was extremely one-sided in my mind, it's hard for me to believe somebody was just undergoing all of that trauma and they played no role in you. Some angel, get the fuck out of here. So in this case, she said, yes, I was going through hell. Sometimes I was with the BS and most times I wasn't. Right. In fact, when she spoke about that hotel, and I'm super long with it. I'm not even allowing you to talk in your show.
No, you're okay. I'm used to it when I come to your channel.
But what I know these motherfuckers like, shut the fuck up. Man,
no, you're making some good points though.
But listen, one time she said, so when it came to that tape, so they was able to get it in because I kind of put on my channel that TMZ reported that the way in which CNN received the tape and then what they did with the tape to subsequently turn it over to the government would have otherwise made it inadmissible because you can't authenticate it. So what they did was the prosecutors got the security guard who initially sold the tape to authenticate it. So he was able to hurdle that. Now, as it pertains to that tape and that infamous beat up, that beat down in by the elevator bay in an Intercontinental hotel, she said the way in which that started was there was inner freak off and she wanted to stop because she had some movie thing that she was working on and she didn't want her body to be like continuously beat on because for the most part, these things will last days, plural. So she said she was trying to leave and he punched in her face then before she left. So before the whole tape and all of we saw, he was beating her up already. So then she tried to just get up out of there and he subsequently, ran down on her and beat her up. But I think the most interesting part was, I think she said, yeah, she was with it, but she just wanted to like just take a break because she wanted to take advantage of this movie role. That was such a beautiful fucking testimony for the prosecutor because again, it creates the notion that yes, she was partaking in it, but not all the time. Right. So I think that was again, I said more than I needed to say, but to answer your question, the prosecutor really did a good job. But, listen, her testimony isn't over. It's a lot to go. They have tomorrow. I don't know how long the prosecutor is going to be able to direct her, but I know cross-examination is likely going to happen Thursday, and she's probably going to be off on Friday. And, we don't know what the defense is going to say. We don't know what ammunition they may have. We don't know what they're going to put up in her face. If I was the defense, I would ask, well, why, considering how you know, the atmosphere, considering how high profile is, considering how stressed this is. Why would you want to have this while pregnant? Like, you know, so I would kind of push back the notion that she's this vulnerable woman. In fact, I would inject the idea that she's trying to appeal to the jury's, you know, sensibilities or consciousness to see that, you know, she's this vulnerable person, to show, no, you taking advantage of your you know, your vulnerabilities or what have you. So it's a lot of things that I would do if I was a defense, but it's not looking good for Diddy. I tell you that much.
You think it's not? Because I was going to ask you, do you think that they're doing a great job proving the RICO and the conspiracy and all, whatever it's called?
So remember, it just started. So, you know, prosecutors tend to front load their best witnesses from the very beginning, unless they have to establish foundation. In this case, they had to put the security guard up first, so that way they can establish the foundation and bring these tapes in, because he had to authenticate it. But then the prosecutors brought in the I was about to say prostitute, but the gigolo, right? Because that's what these dudes are. The gigolo to testify, to speak about certain things. And, you know, he's the guy that spoke about the urination or what have you. And then she spoke about it a bit more too. So I think, you know, the prosecutor is taking their time with it. Like, you know, their witness list is huge. They have all types of celebrities on it. So who the hell knows what the prosecutor's going to call? Right? They have friends to corroborate what it is that she say. Even like the aftermath of her lawsuit, a whole bunch of friends and family members, you know, all of a sudden grew a fucking heart and grew a spine and started talking about it. So all of those people are susceptible to be called. So it's they just started, right? They just started. It's just not looking good. I don't think it's looking good just seeing Cassie pregnant ass up on that stand talking about she's getting peed on. It isn't getting no worse than that.
Right.
It's not getting no worse. It's like the old lady that got robbed. Yes, he did it. And she's like shaking this shit while pointing. It doesn't get no worse than that.
And that's probably why they wanted to have her there before she had the babies.
Exactly.
You
know, judges, even though judges are really, really strict with their calendar, and they're like calendar tyrants, so to speak. Mm-hmm. When it comes to like the health of a person, or if it's a really, 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 really serious or impactful, you know, event in that person's life, they're gonna say, okay, yeah, we'll push it off. Like, you know, like I remember when I was a lawyer, I had finals. And the judge was like, all right, I understand. We're pushing it. You know, they're admittable, right? So they would have definitely did this because she's a star witness. So for them to put her on the stand, knowing the impact of seeing this lady up there with this big belly I think that was the best idea that they had, you know?
Now, we had a question in the chat from Sabrina. She said if Cassie didn't like the freak offs, why was she asking the escort for D pics and having raunchy sex with that man? That's odd, and that wasn't done. And that was done without Diddy. Right. Some stuff she talked about, it was without him.
And that's a hell of a question. And I think that was something that was ingenious with the prosecutor, because again, the theme isn't that Cassie was just completely some you know, angel in a mix. The theme isn't that Cassie was just being beat down, and the theme is she was consenting sometimes, not all the times. The theme is that he paid people to come from one place to the next for the purpose of sex, right? Remember, the prosecutor, all they have to prove is the elements of each specific charge. This isn't like, you know, a lot of people, when they look at cases or they look at trials, they think of it like the movies, like they have to have all of these evidence, or it has to become like, you know, beyond all doubt. Like it's not, it's just beyond a reasonable doubt. And the prosecutor just have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that, you know, whatever the elements of these particular charges are. Right. And I don't think the prosecutor, and in fact, I think in the opening statement, the prosecutor made it clear that, yes, she partook in it. She volunteered to do some of it, just not all of it. Right. Like, you know, because you could have sex with somebody 1,000 times, right? And it'd be routine 1,000 times. But all they have to do is non-consent one time, and it's great. And then continue to have sex with the person 1,000 times after that. You still grape them. Right. Mm-hmm. So, you know, yes, she may be a fast person. Yes, she may be racy. Yes, she may be freaky and all of that stuff. But Cassie's position is, yes, I get down like that, just not all the time. And just think about it. Like, who the hell, I know it may be some freaks in your chat, maybe some women that get down, but for 3, 4, 5 days straight,
that's a lot. Okay.
And then you just having one man day go after the next, pounding you down. Like, yeah, you may be with the mess, but come on, 5 days? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think, the question Shorty had was a valid question, but the prosecutor isn't paying Cassie to be an angel, and Cassie is not paying herself to be an angel. Cassie, yeah, I was attracted to the dude. The dude had a big joint. I wanted to see it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay. Now, what did you think about the testimony from that guard at the hotel, and then that other guy that Cassie said that he slept with Cassie?
The testimony for the guard was just established foundation. Really didn't really care about that. It was just established. It's to authenticate the tape to come in. Well, so he's established foundation and authenticate the tape. So that was the role of the guard. Everything else was just fillers. Where you're from, what school you went to, where you live at, all of that is just fillers. But his role was authenticate the tape, which they did. So I think, first of all, you had to start with that because you wanted to get that tape in the jury's mind in the event they want to act like they didn't see it. Because all these juries be fucking lying. In the event they didn't see it, hey, look at this. This is Diddy kicking her ass. Now, the guard couldn't authenticate or testify if that was Diddy or not, or if that was Cassie or not, even though we all have eyes. Cassie's role was to say, yes, that was me and that was Diddy, right?
Oh,
so that's what that's the great foundation for her to testify. Yeah, that's true. As it pertains to the other guy, the prostitute, to the gigolo guy, I think that it created, the reality that Cassie isn't innocent. She's not an angel, which humanizes her. It humanizes her. It doesn't, because nobody likes to be told or sold a story, right? If look, like my crazy ass life. If I would have said, "Oh no, I was just eating out of them, I was just doing," like, I make it seem like I'm some pompous guy from fucking Belly. No, man, I was from South Jamaica, Queens. I seen homicides and all kinds of shit, and then I turned into whoever I turned into. That's, people like to hear that shit. People like, because it's more authentic. You don't really, nobody is around these movie star fake stories. People are around people who came from nothing and made themselves up to something, and that's more believable because that's what we are familiar with. So to bring that guy on, in addition to saying, yes, Diddy paid me, you also say, yes, Cassie paid me. In addition to saying, yeah, I had sex with her for however many times, and sometimes she said she wasn't with it, but I did it, Diddy was like, do it anyway. And then also to say, yeah, sometimes I will leave and I will hear Diddy kicking her ass. And then it would say, well, why did you still do it? Is because I wanted to make sure, I wanted them to think I was down, So it all humanizes them. It's real. That's what, not to say that happens all the time or it happens frequently, but that's a real story to believe, especially when you're making it clear that Cassie was no angel here. You just establishing that as it pertains to these counts, Diddy is guilty.
Ooh, see, I love how you lay it out. Okay, because that's what I was thinking too. Because during the security guard, he was saying that there was another guy in the room. Because when that video came out with the elevator, we really just thought they were in a hotel, and then this incident happened. Yes. But I don't think a lot of people knew it was another person there, and they were questioning him as to why didn't he put that on the incident report about the other man. He brought it up during court, but he didn't bring that up. And then she said today that was a freak out. That's how we found out who that other man was too.
Yes. So again, I think the most, at least the important part for that security guard was truly to authenticate that tape. Everything else could be explained around, even if that guy was recognized or otherwise construed to be a bona fide liar. So long as he could say, I received this tape from my employer and I was the custodian of this tape, to authenticate the tape to come in, who cares about essentially what he said, because Cassie will clean it up, right? And to your point, yes, as Cassie testified today, yes, that was a freak off, and she was trying to leave early to handle some doing business, and then whatever happened, what happened.
Now, someone also asks, where does the RICO come into play?
So RICO is racketeering, and I can't remember the damn name of. I can't remember the acronym. I never can remember the acronym. But the way that comes in, I can't remember the acronym. I don't know why. Corruption, organization, whatever. The RICO came in because remember, Diddy is not just Diddy. It's also Bad Boy Entertainment. It's also these other businesses, and then also it's security guards. It's all of these people that facilitated these variety of different crimes. Whether it's the human trafficking, whether it's the drug thing, whether it's the smuggling of the guns. I don't know if you guys recall or remember, but it was a lot of allegations that he had mules, right? Not only to smuggle guns and drugs, but also to go find, women. And that stuff came out, and in fact, it came out in Little Rod's lawsuit. Little Rod specifically in his lawsuit swore to felony perjury that Diddy would hired him to actually go find some ladies. Right. In Little Rod's lawsuit, he specifically stated that white guy. I don't know if you guys remember when Diddy's plane got raided and they arrested this little white kid. He was from Syracuse University. Yeah. He was considered a mule. So all of that stuff is a part of the RICO, right? All of that stuff is a part of the RICO. And again, it's a association in fact, and it could, whether it's bad boy is that fact, or whether it's freak off, quote unquote, is the fact. That associated in fact. It's like the nucleus of it all, and they're going from one state to the next, one country to the next. So that's how the RICO is involved.
Okay, and then some people are saying also that she stayed even after he did those things. Does that look like she's complicit with it if she's staying?
When you say complicit, what do you mean? You have to go back to that.
Or consensual. Maybe I'm using the wrong word.
Yeah, it would be consensual. And yes, well, listen. So I see the comment that says women have Stockholm syndrome. I wouldn't consider that Stockholm syndrome, so to speak, even though it's like that. I would more so go with baddest woman syndrome. Because remember, they was in a relationship. Stockholm syndrome is really just you're appeasing to your attacker. Something loosely like that. This will be baddest woman syndrome, and you really can't. The small amount of great crimes that I've defended against is we've had experts up the wazoo try to explain away baddest women syndrome, and there's no real reason as to why a woman would do what they do. Why would they stay in an otherwise toxic or even deadly relationship? So that just because she stayed doesn't in itself mean that she was whether complicit or she consented. It could very well be that she was suffering from some sort of psychological effect that Diddy had on her. And in fact, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think one of the things that Cassie said today was, what they did was they brought in, I think, an email or a text that Cassie sent. And Cassie was like, I feel trapped. I feel like he owns me. That kind of sentiment is synonymous with somebody that will be suffering from baddest woman syndrome. Like they truly feel like they can't go nowhere. Right. And it's hard for them to understand that it's hazardous staying. Right. It's a syndrome. Right. It's something that's beyond the scope of their ability to control. It's a psychological thing. So I wouldn't go so far as to say that means it's consent. And even more so, listen, she said she consented. So I think, for your viewers to really realize that she said, yes, I was happy to do some of the stuff, I'm just paraphrasing. Right. So she, so it's no like dispute that she consented to some of the stuff, or if not a lot of the stuff. The thing is, a lot of the stuff she didn't consent to, like getting her ass whooped in the Intercontinental Hotel. Right. So some of the stuff she did consent, some of the stuff she didn't consent. And also, your viewers should know that when you induce somebody with drugs, there is no consent.
Oh, right? That's what I was wondering too. How would they take that part?
Yeah, once a person is intoxicated, whether voluntarily or somebody induce them, there is no consent, right? I say this shit all the time. I say, listen, especially for men, give me 10 minutes of your time of a heartfelt, candid conversation, I could show you committed 100 years worth of crimes. And then I would say, well, have you ever went to a club? And they say, yeah. Have you ever brought a lady a drink? Yeah. Have you ever hooked up with her after the fact? Yeah. Great.
Wow.
Because when you inebriate somebody, they don't have the ability to consent. And as a matter of law, that's, you know.
Oh, so because I was wondering about that, because at first I was like, okay, these people are taking the money, they're calling them, arranging it. They have the power to say no.
No, they don't. They don't.
They don't have the power to say
because
no.
They don't have the cognitive ability. They're inebriated.
No, I'm saying before they get to the freak offs. I'm saying remember Cassie was saying that she would plan it. And
I get you. I got you.
Okay, so with that, to me, that looks like consent because no one's forcing you to come and be a part of this.
Right, but so when does consent start and stop? I guess that's a question for you.
Yeah, like I would think that, okay, if you're agreeing to come to this party, you know that you're getting paid, you're consenting to do that. You know what you're coming to do.
So let me ask you a question. Actually, now I got to ask you a question. I'm just going to pose a statement.
Okay.
So let's just say a man and a woman meets up wherever they meet up. They've known each other for years. They've actually engaged with each other for years. And then one day that man and that woman meets up. They go to the hotel, goes to the house or whatever. And while the man is inside her doing his thing, she says, "I'm good." And then the dude like, "All right, give me 2 more minutes. What just happened there?
Well, if he doesn't let her leave,
if he doesn't stop at that moment.
Oh, when she says stop and he
well, I'm good. If he has to stop at that moment, that's how. See,
now like, some women play that game now.
Yeah, but they need to grow up. But still, in all, that's a crime.
Right.
See, like when it comes to that charge, that rape charge is considered a strict liability charge, right? It's like running a speeding light. A speed like if the speed limit is 25 miles an hour, you go 26, you violated that law. Right? It doesn't matter why you did it or none of that. It's a strict liability charge. So rape is like that, right? Like age requirements. If the person is not of age, it doesn't matter what happened. They could have lied to you. They could have given you phony ID, whatever. Once you do it, it's what it is. So, I said all that to say, even though they came there and they knew why they were going there, and even though she may have facilitated it, right? Once she say I'm good, once she say no or stop, whatever verbiage she used to articulate no, it's no. It doesn't matter at what point. Now, let's just say if that deed is done and then after the fact she says, "Oh, you know what? I don't think I wanted to do that." That's different. But during the act, because you can't pull back consent. You can't once you do an act, you have to. Your consent is implied while you're doing it. But once it's over with, you can't just, you know what I'm saying? So in this case, she's saying that, yes, she was a part of it. Yes, she was with it. Even in the hotel thing, she said, yeah, I wanted it, but I had to prepare. So I wanted to stop. You know what I'm saying? So, that's how that is. And unfortunately, I'm surprised. And that's one of the things I'm surprised, even though grape isn't a problem, I'm surprised they didn't charge him with that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
The statute of limitation of grape is really, 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 really long. In some cases, it's 20 years. So, and in these instances, in that hotel thing, I think happened in 2015. So it's way, way within the statute of limitations to bring these charges. Surprised they didn't bring that.
And V said, once you're not drugged anymore and you go back and continue, at what point is it a choice?
So that goes into the immaturity of the actors. And this is why you're not supposed to have sex while you're intoxicated. Even though I know a lot of people love having sex while they're drunk and high. That's why. First off, you don't have the ability to consent while you're in that intoxicated state.
Right.
But more importantly, once you say no, it should really stop. You shouldn't be doing this double dutch shit.
Right.
Like, once you say no is no. And that goes for the man too. I said this on my channel last week. A lot of times you will have a woman riding a man and she's about to come and the dude's like, I'm good. And then she's still straddling on him. That's great. That's great. Like,
are you serious?
Yes. Yes. Right?
Wow.
Like, or a dude about to, he's raw, he's about to bust, and he's trying to pull out and she holding him. That's stealthing to a degree, and that's great. That's you can't do none of that stuff. It's just, it's because people don't get locked up for shit. People don't, say they don't know. But yes.
Wow. Okay, Shelly, who were you asking? Do you think he's going to take the stand? Oh, you mean Diddy? Do you think Diddy's going to take the stand?
I think he should.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Mm-hmm.
But they said that he's over there taking notes and things, helping his defense team.
Well, he's supposed to, right? You have, the Strickland versus Washington say that you have a constitutional right to do that, and that the attorneys have to entertain it. But as it pertains to him taking a stand, I think he should. See, when it comes, certain crimes, I think you should. It kind of go hand in hand of taking a stand, like self-defense, like a justification charge, and charges like this when it's a he say she say, because this is really a he say she say kind of thing, right? She's saying this, and it is nobody to dispute that,
right?
So that's other than like the evidence that's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, they were saying, I think Jay put it in the comments earlier. They were saying that right now they're not looking for any co-conspirators. Do you think that there are other people that work with him that they may bring in as witnesses?
So what do you mean, like bring in as witnesses? Like
the people that were part of the enterprise, his businesses, that helped him do all of this stuff.
So a lot of times what people don't know is this characterization called a material witness. Okay. And a material witness, for the most part, at least in the criminal world, criminal defense world, or criminal prosecution world, is somebody that should have been a co-defendant, but the role they played in just didn't tip the level of let's prosecute him, or we could use him or her to prosecute somebody else. Like I remember, I'm not gonna say the celebrity, but I was representing a snitch to one of these celebrities who wound up going to prison. They're in prison now. And that snitch was complicit, partook, and actually engaged in the very same criminal activity as this celebrity. But the feds was like, yo, we want the celebrity, we don't want dude. So if he's willing to cooperate, let's do that. Otherwise, we smoking him. So he cooperated, right? So a lot of these people, even in the what's that guy name from the Fugees? What the hell is his name? He was just convicted. He was with that fucking spy guy. But anyway, I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank. But they in that case that I'm referring to was in DC. They had Kim Kardashian in as a material witness who should have been arrested. They had what's the other guy name that played Wolf of Wall Street? I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. He was a material witness who should have been a co-defendant, right? So they will use you if you allowed them to use you. And in this Diddy case, listen, I remember, I even played it on my channel. It was when he had one of his, I don't know if he's security guards or just some rapper, gloating over the idea of them, dropping pills in these ladies' mouths to drug them out.
Oh, wow.
It's a crime. And he's like gloating over it. So people like that would become most definitely a material witness because they're not trying to go to prison. This dude's like 50-something years old. He's not trying to go to prison. So to answer your question, and again, I'm very long-winded with a lot of this stuff. To answer your question, I think to try to amend or supersede the indictment at this point is definitely it's beyond the scope because the trial already started. But to bring in people that could have been co-defendants, yes, they would be considered material witnesses. Meaning
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Now, what do you think is happening to these witnesses that are dropping like flies? They said witness number 3, they can't find that witness.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I was like, what's going on? Now, you know that case that you brought up on your channel, that's how I knew about it. The one where Diddy and his son are
Oh
under
yeah,
charge.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
there was a lawsuit. Did that go away? Did they settle that, or is that
I'm
still
not sure. I think it's still pending. I'm not sure. A lot
okay?
of listen when it comes to crime, like even personal injuries, you would get hit by somebody would intentionally mow you down and they get arrested. The criminal case always supersedes any civil matter, right? And it's to some degree you would actually want the criminal case to proceed so that person can be convicted, and then that in itself establishes liability for whatever it is that you're being accused of, right? But I don't think Diddy, I don't know if Diddy is actually charged because in that lawsuit, and that's the Little Rod lawsuit. In that
Okay.
lawsuit, they said that Diddy's son, I can't remember which one it was, probably
It's
Justin.
Pete Combs, the one that looks like him,
Yeah. The rapper, the fake
the
rapper.
rapper.
They, it's alleged that him and one of his friends or associates started arguing in one of the studios, and they're saying that either him, Diddy, or a security guard supposedly shot him and then dumped his body off somewhere. So that, but that was in Little Rod's lawsuit. Now, whatever happened with that, whether or not I don't think they added that to this indictment. In fact, I think this indictment was already pending when that happened. I'm not really sure. But I don't remember any attempted murder charges on this. I would have to look that up. I don't recall Diddy being charged with that. I think Diddy's charges is limited to the trafficking and everything like that.
Now wait, what happened? So Little Rod, because they said Little Rod was at court. Do you think he'll be a witness?
I don't really see the need for. Well, you know what? It probably yeah. I think they will call him for a witness, but because he's in court, I don't know why they will. If they call him a witness, I don't know why they will allow him in court because it could taint his testimony, right? Because he's seen things and he's hearing things. When you are going to be a witness, they keep you away from court until you actually testify, and then once you're like excused, then you can do whatever it is that you want to do. So him being there in itself kind of gives me the position that they're not going to call him. However, what I do think most of the things that he would testify to outside of what he said in his summons and complaint was the whole trafficking aspect, because again he claimed under penalty of perjury that Diddy hired him not only to just go find women for the purpose of trafficking, but also to smuggle like weapons and everything like that. And also, I think he said that he was one of the guys that was filming a lot of this stuff. So maybe they may call him or they may need him to authenticate some tape that he has, or that shows some sort of criminal stuff that Diddy was involved in. But I think the better person to call to substantiate all that stuff is that white boy. The one that they arrested at the airport, because I think he was.
I forgot about him.
He would see the same thing that Little Rod seen, and he would have experienced the same thing Little Rod experienced outside of the sexual assault, obviously.
Now wait, because I'm glad that you said that because I had forgotten about him. Mm-hmm. Also, what about Gene Deal? Do you think that they would ever call Gene Deal his bodyguard?
No, that doesn't make sense to call him.
Oh,
because he's a poor witness. Like you don't want somebody, because Gene Deal is brash. He's vulgar. He has a checkered past. You really don't want anybody to taint the jury with buffoonery. You don't really want that.
Okay.
Right? Like you want people that pregnant women on the stand talking about how they was getting beat on. That's what you want.
Right.
Okay. Which is what they have.
Now, I'm glad that you said that because Brittany brought up a good point. But my opinion is I don't think they would ever testify. But I know if anybody, Usher and Justin Bieber would be good witnesses about some things that he's done. Do you think that they would ever testify against him?
Well, I don't think whatever they have to testify is relevant here. Remember, this isn't a movie. This is a trial. So
I know.
This isn't just, hey, tell me everything what was he doing when he was 2? Like, nah, it has to be actually relevant to what he's being accused of. I don't have the indictment in front of me to run off what he's being accused of. But if Justin Timberlake or Usher or anybody else for that matter doesn't have like firsthand knowledge of information that pertains to the allegations alleged in a summons of complaint, in an indictment or superseded indictment, whatever it is at this point, then they're immaterial. Nothing that they say matters, even though I'm sure they have a whole bunch of stuff to say about Diddy. At this point, because of what he's being tried on, it just doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. And in fact, it would just confuse the jury.
Right? But my thing would, I think it would go with the drugs and the forcing part. The same thing they're trying to do with Cassie.
Yeah, but that's
they're bringing up
bolstering
this
it.
stuff.
That's bolstering. Like if they already have Cassie, remember Cassie's an actual victim, so it's different, right?
They
And
are
Cassie,
too, in my opinion.
yeah, but they're not listed in the indictment.
Oh,
You gotta remember it's due process. You know, I know you guys may hate Diddy, but he has due process right to a fair trial like everybody else.
I don't hate him, but I want him. I want justice served for some of the things that
of course. And speaking of justice, it has to be fair, right? You know, this isn't. I hate to belabor this point, but this isn't a movie. This isn't a soap opera. It's a trial with serious offense and with serious consequences that can land him very well for the rest of his life in prison for claims that the prosecutor is saying that he did. And I know at least in an initial indictment, they had two victims, victim number one and victim number two. But victim number two has been unnamed to date. Even victim number one, but you could kind of presume it was Cassie because it mirrored her lawsuit. But victim number two, they're not really substantiated. And I think victim number two is that white girl that came up out of Detroit. I don't know if you recall that, but it was a little girl that sued Diddy because she said that, you know, she met one of his, I can't remember the guy's name, but somebody that worked with him in some club in Detroit who then took her to Diddy to then have sex with him. I think that's the only thing, if anything could be substantiated, I think that would be her because that's kind of a trafficking, right? That's kind of a trafficking. But, you know, who knows? But as it pertains to Usher and Justin Bieber, nah. It wouldn't make any sense to call them.
I don't think they would do it anyways.
Oh, what was that J-Lo comment? I saw something with J-Lo.
Let's see. Right here, according to Gene, he didn't try J-Lo though.
Man, I'm from New York.
I said that
I'm
earlier.
from New York, man.
He loves J-Lo.
I wasn't always a fucking lawyer. I'm from New York. J-Lo. And I'm of the age too. I'm not like a kid.
No, you think she did some stuff? I mean, I know she probably knows some stuff, but you think she was doing some stuff? Oh
man.
Oh my goodness! Now you turning it into a soap opera.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna, you know, some things I definitely can't speak. See, I have access to certain things that, you know, it's just not public.
Right.
You know, but either way, now I don't think J-Lo, but it would make no sense for them to call her, just as well as any of them other celebrities. They have actual evidence. I know one thing that they would do, like speaking of J-Lo, so it's this thing called a motion in limine. Mm-hmm. And a motion in limine is essentially a motion to preclude evidence. And oftentimes that evidence is like prejudicial. So they were asking the defense, Diddy's lawyers were asking the judge to preclude or otherwise don't allow the prosecutors to ask Diddy about the Shine shooting. I don't know if you recall that, the shooting in 1999. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. J-Lo was involved in that. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's the only, you know, snippet of a connection with this case with Diddy and J-Lo. Otherwise, other than that, I don't recall her being a part of anything else. You know, so.
Wow. Yeah, I don't recall that either. I think she got out of there before it got too bad. Now,
Aubrey O'Day.
Yeah, Aubrey O'Day.
That Asian lady.
I don't know who that is.
And 50 Cent baby mom.
Now 50, has he been posting? Because I know 50 being petty.
You know, it's so crazy. I came across a meme when they was picking a jury, and it was a meme of a bunch of like 50 cents on the jury. It was hilarious. But 50 Cent baby mom. Miss E. Who's Mrs. E? Oh, that's a hi, Mrs. E.
Oh, they said, hi, Mrs. E.
Who is this nigga on the page? Who's this nigga on that now?
This is Mr. CKB. He has a channel, y'all. I did put it in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. He usually goes live on Saturday, but he'll do pop-ups. I'm surprised he's up now.
You know what's so crazy? First off, it's past my bedtime. You know, but you know, so I was going to do a video. I don't really do videos like that, but I was going to do a video specifically on this. But I don't know, man. For me to, you know, I like to have actual footage as opposed to me just speaking about stuff. And I didn't want to go because it was such a madhouse. I was going to actually get the transcripts, but it was such a madhouse. I was just like, I'm not doing this. Forget it. I saw you on, and I was like, I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna see what she's talking about. I was
Yeah.
actually just looking at your chat to look at the ladies, but that's
Mr. CK big flirt shot over in his chat. All the women sending supers. He
oh my
like, thank you, light skin.
god.
It is so funny. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my
Let's see.
god.
J-Lo and Lori got the hell away from him. Oh yeah, Lori Harvey. Yes, they did.
They was dating. I didn't know they was messing with each other.
Yeah, she
Lori
dated him and
Harvey,
his
for real?
son. Yes.
I
She
don't
dated
recall.
both
The
of
only
them.
people I really recall him dealing with outside of J-Lo was that Miami chick who was vocal about getting urinated on, mind you.
Mhm.
And that other lady that Miami was kind of going back and forth. I think that Asian woman. But other than that, I don't recall. I didn't know he was dealing with Lori Harvey. Damn, she get around.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay. I think let's see. Y'all think Diddy, Baba, J-Lo. I don't
You beat up
think.
J-Lo? Hell, well,
You think
I'm
so?
not even gonna speak. I
Oh well,
don't know.
you know more than I know.
I don't know.
Let's see if the other celebrities aren't going to testify, what makes them any different? Oh,
So listen, Brittany, you and I apologize. I don't mean to like focus on you, but a person like this isn't Fannie Willis who could just walk up on it and I'm gonna testify. Like this stuff, like it has to be relevant. It has to
it
be
is
relevant. It's
relevant.
not. It's relevant for us like content creators. It's not relevant as a matter of law, right? Like if I'm defending somebody against a charge, right? Even if I'm defending you against a drug, you sold drugs, right? But 2 days ago you murdered somebody.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure the jury want to know that you just murdered somebody, but that's not relevant to the drug deal, right? It's just not has nothing to do with anything. So, like just because other celebrities aren't being called, and it's not like they have a choice. If the prosecutor subpoenaed them, they better show up or they're gonna go to jail. But
Oh, okay.
if they're not called, it's because they don't have anything that's relevant or it bolsters, meaning they're just gonna repeat something that somebody else said.
Oh, okay. If they're saying the same stuff over
Yeah.
and over.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, any more questions, y'all? The chat slowed down with questions. I think you hit all of them. Wow.
I mean,
I was just curious because hey, you right there in the middle of it in New
yeah,
York.
I told you we have a trial in Supreme Court, which is right across the street from the place. It's like a madhouse down there. Like I said I was gonna go to this trial last year because I knew it was gonna be, crunchy, but it's like a madhouse down there.
Wow. Shout out to Sabrina for the super chat. She said, thank you. I need that. Thank you. Y'all heard this little sound effect. That's what I need. I need a sound effect. He gets me every time. I appreciate that. She said, great commentary, open book, and guest, Mr. CKB. Okay. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a sponsor for
Yo,
today.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? Why you never show your face?
I do. And even on my other channel, I did a short today and showed
Did you
my
really?
I did. You need
I'm a
subscribe to my other channel.
I didn't know that.
Some days I'm just relaxing, man. I don't feel like going to put makeup on, doing all.
You don't need no makeup. I don't know why y'all do that. You don't need any makeup. What the fuck is this makeup shit? Like, you don't need no makeup. You good money.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you think they're going to let the press see this? Oh, they said the judge said he wasn't doing that.
Nah, that's sensitive. Like listen. My viewers told me that they think I should go look at them tapes, right? Because they wanted me to report on it, and I thought that was a good idea. But you're talking. Listen, like all jokes aside, you're talking about somebody that was being, according to the prosecutor, abused sexually. Like really, really savagely abused. And just think about what it's like to have trains ran on you for hours on it, because that's what's happening.
Right.
Like that's not like a lot of listen, the TV, the sensationalization, like it's hard. Like when we represent like guys that's accused of that, and sometimes they film it, like they have their phone. Like I remember having a case where a guy put his phone and filmed it, and he was like beating her up while doing that. That's like, wow. It's not, you don't even know how the feeling you get sitting next to a guy having to defend him, and watching him do that, you hearing a lady scream, like it's a really, really horrific circumstance, right? A lot of people, you know, we're so caught up in the hysteria. It's like this train wreck thing. Like we want to see a train wreck, but we forget that it's people on that train that's truly in agony, right? It's truly in traumatic agony. And look at it like that. Like, would you want your grandmother or whomever that you love being brutalized and then it's being aired for the public? Like, forget the fact that she was a sex symbol. Forget the fact that, yeah, Diddy is this billionaire. Forget all that stuff. These are regular people, right? So I think that was a really good job for the judge to make it private, right? You're protecting her as the victim, as she should be protected. You're also protecting the sanctity of this trial because it's already a zoo, and you're allowing justice to be served. And also, let's just say if Diddy is found not guilty, right? Let's just say,
oh my God,
he is. Like, if people saw that, he'd probably get killed. Like, it's a different. It's like you guys never experienced this shit. Like, you guys never seen, for the most part. Like, I don't, you know, for the most part, most people haven't seen killings.
Right.
Like, you've seen a movie, right? But you haven't seen the how serious and how breathtaking it is to see somebody die, or see police pumping their chest, or seeing somebody getting stabbed to death, or these horrific kind. People don't see that, right? So when you have somebody is tried for that act and they're playing it, you can't even describe what that's like to see. It's unbelievable. And you know, in this instant, that's what it would be. And you know, I think that's a hell of a judge. I think that was a good decision on the judge to not allow the public to get access to that.
Right.
Some things it just shouldn't be seen. Testify to it, okay. You know, cry with her, okay. But to see her in that state, remember, she's a mother, she's a daughter. Like, just think about that. Like, you know, you're talking about somebody getting, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand because I don't see really the relevance in wanting to see that. It's like porn.
Because people are thinking about porn. Well, yeah. Porn. People are thinking about it like in like a, not like a violent way, but in a sex appeal way, like an excitement, so to speak. Not that it's a vicious act. Because she's saying that she didn't consent to this stuff. Not to mention she's drunk out of her mind.
Right.
So who the hell knows what they have? She could be a starfish and they're just manipulating her body in all kinds of crazy ass ways.
Right.
Like, it's, you know, like.
That's true. I agree. Because at first the lawyer was saying, hold on one second. Mm-hmm. At first, not the lawyer, the judge was saying that he was considering allowing it to be public, but then changed his mind and said that he felt like that didn't need to be made public. Mm-hmm. Now, unless they're going to write a letter, I think he said, convincing him otherwise, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't see I don't see why the defense will want that to be played. I would imagine they saw it already. So right. The defense wanted to be played possibly because it would show that Cassie wasn't just this limp human being, that Cassie was a truly active, motivating, willing participant. That's the only reason why I would think a defense would want to see that played, right? In addition to humiliating her, because that's a way in which you can get a witness to clam up if you humiliate them and make them feel or seem to be like a liar or what have you. Mm-hmm. So to put her out there, and I think that's something that you will make most people not want to testify for people to listen. If you testify, we're gonna make sure everybody see your, Islamically is your hour. Everybody will see your private parts, right? So people, but I don't see why they would want that. It's just that the charges itself is so horrific that I don't see the benefit in that being public for either way, whether she was a willing participant or not.
And my thing was like the way she described it, how he directed it and things like that. Like why wouldn't he just go into that business? I mean, there are people, I don't know if it was because it was a control factor that will willingly do those type of tapes, you
But
know.
who's to say he's not?
I mean, he could, but why did he have to go to this degree with
Let's
her
go-
and some of these other people?
You know, listen. People have, you know, fetishes, sexual appetites,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I remember even with Cassie said, yeah, I was happy to do some of it. Right? Cassie was a willing participant from the very beginning. I know she said on occasion, well, a few times that, you know, she said she did it just so she wouldn't make him mad. And then she went on to say she did it because she was afraid of him getting mad or what have you. But then on occasion, she said, yeah, I was happy to do it. Yeah, I wanted to do it. He was attracted to me. Yeah, I was the biggest joint I ever seen. Like, so, you know, people have sexual appetites, right? This is the age of ecstasy and all of these other different kinds of intoxicants and drugs that, you know, juice somebody up.
Right. Now, what do you think about the jury that they chose? 8 men and 4 women.
I don't know the jury dynamics. I can't really answer that. I know when we pick juries, we look at social medias, we look at we read lips, we follow to some degree. Like we really figure stuff out. And it's truly based on the allegation. Right? It's truly based on the allegation. Just having women, because it's a sex-related crime or whatever, just having women doesn't necessarily mean anything. Conversely, having men doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
You know, you have to consider a person's political position, if they're grossly liberal or grossly conservative. Right? You could have a bunch of conservative women on there. You could have a bunch of women-hating women on there. Right? Just as well as you could have the same as conservative or man-hating women, you know, misogynist. So, or you could have, you know, Diddy sympathizers or rich people sympathizers or black man sympathizers. Oh, they doing this because he's black. Like, you know, who knows the dynamics? They would know, though.
Ooh, oh my goodness. So a lot of people are saying that they shouldn't show it. And thank you, Denise, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a sponsor for tonight's live. Let's see. Sabrina wants to know what part of New York you're from.
From Queens, baby. South Jamaica, Queens.
Okay. Let's see. Can't lie. I find it hard to listen to her music and watch her music videos. I can't get the details out of my mind. Wow.
Yeah. But listen. Who said that? Oh, good. Shorty that you just had up.
Oh,
Jasmine. Jasmine. I would say, listen. Just as what I said a few minutes ago. People have different kinds of sexual appetites, whether it's fetishes, kinks, or what have you. That's in the privacy of their own home. That doesn't make them a bad or good person. You know, so long as they're doing it safe, they're doing it responsibly, they're not hurting anyone, and they're consenting to it. I don't necessarily see why you would, not you, but why anyone would judge anyone. It's no different than somebody having a religious perspective or political perspective. That's what makes them who they are, so long as they're not harming anyone or otherwise depriving another person or relegate another person for their positions.
Right.
You know.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So, okay. So I guess tomorrow they're going to wrap it up with Cassie. I think the prosecutor said it'll take her half a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I guess they will move into the next witness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Well, listen, you had me. Well, is there any more questions? Because I don't know.
That's it so far.
And I apologize for handcuffing your audience.
No, it's fine. They were asking some really good questions.
Hold on, let me see something. Because sometimes let me see if anybody did anybody subscribe to my channel. Let me see. Let me see if I can.
Y'all better subscribe. He said that my subscribers go up. Okay, I'm trying to be like Mr. CKB when I grow up.
Oh yeah, when you grow up, shit, I ain't grow up yet. Hold on, what's with this damn thing? Hold on. I'm trying to look at my damn.
They looking for the link. I put it in there. Look at y'all. Y'all acting like
it did go up. Yo, shout out to whomever subscribed. I appreciate y'all.
Okay, here's the link if y'all want to subscribe. Y'all, he When I tell you he's on like 3 hours on Saturdays,
Yeah.
I come do errands and come back home, and
And
he's
I'm
still
still
on
get
like.
yakking and clacking. Yeah, listen,
But it's
you know,
good. I love it.
I'm Mr. CKB. This is not a lawyer show. It's a show about a lawyer, particularly. We're for more than a decade. I've been in the same Hollywood. And to what open books point, like I'll come on Saturdays, particularly around 3 o'clock my time, right? And I talk about the same thing that open book is talk about. I don't necessarily really get into the whole gossip thing. I know open book, Spruce spans on other different topics. I kind of try to keep it legal unless it's something really, really racy or you could kind of blend it a bit. I do some politics, but I try to stay away from that because it can be triggering. But I stick within my realm. Like I'm a lawyer. I've been doing this for a little while, so I try to keep it in a legal perspective, right?
And you do. And we love it. I mean, it's great content, y'all. And I've been up on his panel. He'll let me talk for a little bit. It's like this, like how we're talking here, but we disagree sometimes. But hey, sometimes we agree. So I really thank God for Mr. CKB. And also, I had to give him a shout out for being the first to blessing my channel with the largest super chat on a Sunday morning one day.
Was it? How much was it?
It was $200.
Really?
He told me to have brunch. And I was like, wait a second. I had never received a super that large. And I thank you for that. I really do. One day I'm going to be able to come to your channel and do that.
Listen, you be blessing me too, though. So let's not act like you don't be blessing a brother, because you do definitely be blessing me.
Thank you. Let's see. I'm trying to see if any less. Okay, Sabrina says she lived in Queens for less than a year, moved to Harlem in her early to late teens. Some more subscribers. Tomorrow, yes, Brittany, is day 3 tomorrow. Yes. Okay, so you remember Dreamy? He made my whole day. Wait a minute. I'm gonna get you. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Oh my, Mr. CKB in the building. Oh my God.
Listen, you said you have brunch, so I just,
brunch
ain't really I do something. You an old boy could go do something.
Oh, thank you, Mr. CKB. Oh my goodness, y'all. I didn't expect that. I really did. Look, now you're gonna have to come through there and bring $500.
Nah. It's all, listen, you blessing me with you allow me to come on your your channel and run my mouth. So I do appreciate it.
Oh my God. God bless you. I really appreciate that. Oh my goodness. I'm so in shock.
But look, it truly is past my bedtime, man. Like a lot of you may not know. Well, I do have chicky eyes, but I'm trying to keep my eyes open. Right. And I can't see. I'm trying to listen, you know what I'm doing? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really trying to look at these damn avatars because I'll be, I need to see. You have some ladies in here.
He actually he's trying to, every time you come up, if you come over there, and especially if you send in supers and things, he pulls your comments up. Oh, he looking like, what you looking like? Okay. I was like, oh, they got all them women sending him money. Okay.
All right,
Jasmine said he's a lawyer, so we know what's up. Okay. Thank you, Mr. CKB. I know you're tired.
No problem.
I appreciate you gracing my panel, for being a sponsor tonight and blessing my channel. Thank you so much.
No doubt. So you have a good night, channel, chat. Have a good night. Thanks for allowing me to talk about this Diddy extravaganza, if you want to say it, for lack of a better term. And I'm gonna be in the chat. I'll be in the jungles or the bushes or whatever the jargon is these days.
Okay, and I will be too. See you later. Thank you. Oh my gosh, y'all. God just been blessing today. Okay, that's all I can say. He has been blessing. Right, girl, Dreamy Girl already knows me. Girl, y'all gonna have to come pick me up off the floor. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get it together. I just wasn't expecting it. And Mrs. X surprised me earlier. It's like, thank you, Lord. Like, wow. But y'all, we got a lot of questions answered tonight. That was a great convo. Well, Tony, you need to start. Tony Messi, girl, Brittany said that's so nice. Open book. Go treat your family to a great dinner or breakfast, child. That's a belated Mother's Day gift. Okay. Jasmine said $300. That's the biggest super chat I've seen on YouTube in my. I'm telling you, he was the first one. I didn't even know the $200 existed like that, right? We have been morning worship. He came into the chat, and this was on a Sunday. And lo and behold, I saw red pop up, and it was $200, and it said, "This is for brunch." And y'all, I was like, wait a minute. So he done topped that with this one today. Okay. Hey, I can never believe it. I am just in shock, y'all. I really am. God is so faithful. Hey, if anything, that's going to be for June. We going somewhere. That's a vacation. Okay. We're going to use that towards vacation. God is so faithful. Oh my gosh. Yes. Good night, dreamy girl. I know we have been up. Yes, me too, Sabrina. That's why I love his channel, because I like to have conversations. And then, like, yeah, girl, I was saying, y'all got to come get me off the floor, bring the sheets. And so when I'm over there, it's like I like to like think deeper, okay? And we don't always agree, because sometimes he's saying something, I'm like, nope, I don't agree with that. And so when I'm up there, he's welcoming. If you go over there, you can go up on his panel and things like that. He has a lot of great content, covers, from the lawyer's perspective when it comes to cases and trials and things like that. Jay said, thank you for supporting Open Book and giving us some knowledge on the case today. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Dreamy Girl. He was. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Mrs. E. God bless y'all. Open, I've never seen a big one like that. Girl, okay. Okay, thank you, PM. So you sub too. Okay. Thank you, Brittany. Whoo, y'all, my heart racing. Okay. my husband would be like, what your heart racing for? What's going on? God just good. Okay. I'm going to start turning. Maybe if I had my camera on, I would have got a 400. Let me stop. Oh, my God. Oh, look, my son went and got the blanket in case I fall out. Oh, my goodness. Okay, me neither, Jasmine. Not until tonight. Okay, that is another milestone for the Open Book. PM, y'all already know me. I'm going to try to hold it together. Okay. Oh, my goodness. That is what I was going to say. What a blessing. No crying. Y'all sick of me. Oh, Sabrina said, me too. I love listening and learning from other people. That's how you grow. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Good night. Yes, good night, Brittany. Good night, Sabrina. Hi, Judge F. Is it Judge? Stop, Michael. Judge FLX Promoter. Thank you. I appreciate that. And welcome. Jasmine, it's Mr. CKB. Let me drop it again. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Brittany say, yes, love this insight on the Diddy case. Yes. Okay. Sabrina said, I'm weak now. Right. Yeah, he asked. He said, why you have your camera on? I said, well, shoes. Let me start turning on my camera. Tony said, y'all got me tickled. Tony said, baby, when he come up again, you better camera. Girl, oh my goodness. Y'all got me tickled. Yes, with that camera on next time. Hello? Okay. Mr. CKB, come back. Even Peach and Thorn get chats like that. Yeah, they don't get, I haven't seen, now I know Thorn used to get 100 at a time from her mod, but she quit sending too. Okay, so that's his channel. Right, and no makeup. Okay. Denise says she a crybaby too. Thank you, Jasmine. Y'all, I am tickled, baby. Oh, my heart. I was like, wait, what? Oh my goodness. Baby, let me give my shout outs. We have been over our time. Okay, but I enjoyed every minute. Okay, so I want to give a special shout out to all of these sponsors today. Cindy, shout out to Cindy. Thank you for the super sticker. Shout out to Sabrina for that super chat. Shout out to Denise for the super sticker. And shout out, bringing in the clutch, Mr. CKB for that super chat. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all doing that. God is just so faithful, y'all. Dr. J, I didn't even know that you were here. Look, we've been up. Okay. We went over the time. Okay. We both long-winded. Open book, really? Yes. Okay. You have to get that sound when you get a bit. Yes, I'm gonna tell him, look, please teach me your ways. Okay. Even Sabrina got sounds. I need sound effects because he presses that whole little bullhorn sound every time he pauses to say thank you for the super. So I need something like that too. Okay, Jasmine said with a super chat like that, his name should be the lead attorney. Come, you know what, Jasmine, you are so right. Because the lead attorney, he gets supers like that too. Okay, now he gets them, but I don't know if he sent them. He probably sent them like that. But hey, that's another level when you can send like that. God bless. All right, Mr. CKB, baby. Okay, you too, V. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. Sabrina said, I just did a sound bite of money making the ching sound for future reference. That sound, ooh, that's what I need. I need something like that. But y'all, thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all joining tonight. It has definitely been a blessing. I thoroughly enjoyed this live. We have Micah Man here that has a little short, brief message because we got to go to bed. Okay, quickly. Okay.
That song I love.
Okay. Oh, he has a song.
After I do my mission, I'm gonna sing it.
Okay. Hurry, because they going to bed.
Make sure you check out my airport and my amusement park and my pizza shop.
Oh, wow. You got new stuff.
And a cookie shop and a bake
Yes,
shop.
Dr. J.
And a cake shop. It also have a birthday cake shop, and it has my toy shop and my book.
Yes, he added an airport girl. Okay, now he's gonna sing your song. He got a song that he would like to sing for y'all.
I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, I love, I love. That's it.
Yay! Okay, so Dreamy Girl said she's gonna be broken. She's gonna be broke at all these shops. Miss Brittany said, "What kind of cookies and cake do you have, Micah?"
I only have Bake the Robot cakes. I also have.
Thank you, Tony.
I also have Bake the Robot and me cookies.
Okay. And then Miss Jasmine said, "Where can we see your airport?"
It's right by my amusement park.
Oh, okay. It's by the amusement park. Okay. Dreamy Girl said, "That's my song." Okay. Miss Brittany said she loved it. Dr. J said, "Talented young man." Miss Tony said, "I love that song." And then you got this from Miss PM. Tony, I wasn't expecting it. Okay. Now, Miss Justice, you have any final words? She just wants to say the closing because she's supposed to be asleep. Okay, both of them. She said it sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So y'all make sure you hit that like
button.
Also subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live.
Hey, that's my line.
Thank y'all for joining. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.